when you first lived here, and the houses that you lived in and stuff?
We moved out here from Peoria in 1942, and there weren't very many houses out here then. And we have lived in 4 different houses out here. We lived in one over by the schoolhouse, and we lived in 2, one on Woodlawn and one on Berry. And then my husband went to the service, and when he came back, we built this house 29 years ago, where we live now at 217 Albert. We used to go down in the timber, some of the neighbor girls and I years ago, and we used to pick blackberries, and we'd hunt arrowheads. We used to find a lot of arrowheads down there, and bittersweet. And there used to be lots of cattle down there, and you'd have to be careful. They'd come see what we were doing in the timber, and we would be afraid of them, and we'd have to run back up here. And then we had 3 girls, Sharon, Janice, and Kathy, and they all went to school over at Sundoor and at the Beverly Manor School. And they graduated from high school. One of them graduated from college, one of them from nurse's training, and the other one from college. And Kathy Dutton is the youngest one. She teaches over at Sundoor. She teaches special ed for little children. And I've always liked to live out here. I always thought it was pretty out here.
Okay, would you like to tell us how it was, like, when you first lived out here, how many houses were here about? How many?
There weren't too many on our street. There was lots of empty lots, but now all the lots have been sold. I bet there isn't 8 or 10 lots left in Sunnyland now. This used to be a big cornfield. We used to have corn growing on this side of the hard road. And a man by the name of Mr. Moore from Robine used to own this. And he raised cattle, and he had to have a lot of corn to feed them. And then gradually people built the lots. And one time, about 22 years ago, there was a terrible tornado came through here at 10 o'clock at night. And it blew down trees, and it blew down 3 buildings up on the hard road. Took the roofs off of them. It didn't tear down any houses, but it did a lot of other damage. And people were out at night, just turned on all their lights. Trees were down across the hard road, big trees down here at the foot of the hill, and the bridge washed out down at the foot of Washington Hill. You couldn't get across with the cars until they fixed it. High lines were down, and it just pulled up little peach trees out of our backyard and just pushed them right up against the side of our house. And we stood up. We should have went to a basement, but we didn't have time. We had just went to bed, and we heard this terrible noise. It was a wind, and we got up, and we should have went to somebody's basement, but we were afraid to go out of the house. And the wind blew. We thought our back door was going to blow open, and we could just feel our house almost rock. Oh, that was the worst storm I was ever in while we lived here. But I like to live here, and I have lots of flowers and rocks. I went down to different places and got lots of rocks and things. I'd hate to move because I can't take them all with me. And I have nice neighbors. I like to live here on Albert Street.
Well, is that all that you want to tell us now, Margie?
Well, that's about all I can think of now. I've watched all these buildings go up, and the John Hensey School, I watched it being built, and I used to be vice president of the PTA, and one year we made cookbooks, and I used to do a lot of schoolwork in the offices and things when my children were growing up, and I enjoyed it.
Okay, about the fire station up here. When you first lived here, was it as big as it is now, or was it real little?
The fire station hasn't been here too many years. They didn't be any at all. And we had a fire one time, and we had to call the East Peoria Fire Department, and they come out and helped us.
So then, were you here when they built the firehouse?
Yeah.
Mrs. Gold said she was here, and she said, well, she had a book on it, and I took to school in Spring. I looked at it, and it said about who worked there and stuff, and lots of stuff. Is that all you want to say?
Well, that's all I can think of right now. That's interesting.
Okay. Thank you. This is Kathy Ligon's interviewing Marjorie Trovillion.